What if I told you that a startup using A/B testing for their website or product is likely to scale faster or fail faster? That's true, and that's a good thing, even failing. Intrigued? Let's dive into the world of A/B testing in a product design. As always, we start with the basics. What is A/B testing? Also known as the split testing, this is the method where two versions of a web page or app are compared to determine which one performs better. It's like having two teams play the same game under slightly different rules to see which strategy wins. Imagine you're at a fork in the road on your product design journey. One path is your current design, let's call it A, and the other is a new idea you think could work better, that's B. A/B testing helps you choose the path that leads to more engagement, better user satisfaction, and of course, higher conversions. Now, why should you A/B test? In a digital world, small changes can have big impacts. A button moved to a more intuitive spot might increase signups, or a new color or new wording on a call to action button might get more clicks. By testing these changes, you avoid guesswork. Let's say you're running a SaaS platform. You believe that changing the layout on the product page might lead to more subscriptions. Instead of just implementing it across the board, you test version A against version B with real users to see which layout actually performs better. So, how do you set up an A/B test? Here are the steps. First, identify a goal. This could be anything from increasing the number of signups to boosting the engagement on a specific page. Your goal should be clear and measurable. Then create your hypothesis. Based on insights from user feedback, analytics, and heuristics evaluations, hypothesize what changes might improve the user experience. For instance, if we increase the size of a Buy Now button, more people will click on it. Next, develop options. Here's where you design two versions. Version A is usually the current design, while version B incorporates the change you think will make the difference. After this, you run the experiment. Use tools like Optimizely or VWO to serve either version A or B to equally sized, randomly selected segments of your user base. When it's done, after running a test for a significant amount of time, you have to analyze the data to see which version achieved the goal more effectively. Finally, implement and repeat. If there is a clear winner, implement the successful design. Remember, A/B testing is an iterative process. Always look for new aspects to improve and test again. To get the most out of it, pay attention to some A/B testing best practices. Test one change at a time. This helps you pinpoint exactly which variable caused the outcome. If you change 5 things at once, you won't know which one made the difference. Prioritize. Testing ideas are limitless, so go through them and figure out which ones could have the biggest impact, are really important to your business goals, and are easy to actually implement. The time and duration of your A/B test can significantly affect its validity. Make sure to run tests for a sufficient amount of time to collect adequate data and account for any external factors such as weekends or holidays that might screw the results. Choose an appropriate sample size. It will depend on your specific circumstances, and you can use an online calculator to determine it. Check out the video description for a PDF file with links to some of them. Why is it necessary? You have to ensure that the test has statistical significance. Depending on the sample size, your traffic, and the metrics you are measuring, reaching appropriate numbers might take anywhere from a few days to several weeks. You may want to segment your audience to understand how different groups react to the same changes. Segmenting can be based on user demographics, behavior, purchase history, or even device type. This approach helps ensure that your findings are relevant to specific user bases, which can lead to more personalized and effective optimizations. Be aware of external factors that could influence the outcome of your tests. Seasonal events, marketing campaigns, or changes in the competitive landscape can all impact user behavior. Account for these factors when planning your test and analyzing the results to ensure your conclusions are accurate. Maintain testing integrity. Once an A/B test is live, avoid making changes to the experience parameters or interfering with the test process. Any adjustments can contaminate your data, leading to unreliable results. Maintain detailed records of all tests conducted, including the hypotheses, variations, results, and interpretations. interpretations. Documenting these details helps create a knowledge base for future tests and assists in understanding the long-term impact of the changes implemented. This documentation is also crucial for communicating the effectiveness of A/B testing to stakeholders or to the new employees who will be conducting the testing in the future. Now that you know what to do, let's briefly discuss what not to. What are common mistakes in A/B testing? Testing too small changes, like changing the shade of a button without substantial reason to believe it's impact user behavior. While small changes can sometimes lead to meaningful results, they often do not produce significant improvements in metrics that matter, such as conversion rates or user engagement. Next, not testing the entire user experience. Focusing only on isolated parts of the user journey can lead to suboptimal outcomes. For example, improving the sign-up page might increase conversions, but if the rest of the user experience is neglected, overall user retention might suffer. It's essential to consider how changes affect the entire user experience, from context through the post-purchase. Then, failing to replicate findings. Sometimes, teams may run a test, see positive results, and quickly roll out changes without verifying the findings. Rerunning successful tests can confirm the results, ensuring that they were not anomalies. Failure to confirm can lead to widespread implementation of changes that don't actually have a positive effect, or that were positive due to temporary market conditions or external factors. Another common error in A/B testing is drawing conclusions from too small sample size, which can lead to decisions based on statistical noise rather than actual user behavior. Ensuring that the sample size is large enough to achieve statistical significance is crucial for reliable results. Conversely, excessively large sample sizes can detect meaningless differences that are statistically significant but not practically useful. Conducting A/B testing is designer's job and not founders or product managers on its own. However, you should understand that A/B testing informs business development all the steps on the way. For example, for one of our clients' briefed personal finances platform, we conducted A/B testing before deciding on MVP. Take a look at the two screens we showed the users. Their feedback allowed us to validate the idea and move on to creating an MVP which actually resonated with the user needs. Remember what I said that sometimes A/B testing leads to a quicker failure? And A/B-based research shows that startups adopting A/B testing reach their natural endpoint faster, and that endpoint can be either scaling or failing. And that's good. After A/B testing, it turns out that your web page views go to zero, and that's what the case sometimes. It just means that your initial idea wasn't that good, and you can move to another idea without waiting too much of your time or something that won't work anyway. A/B testing is a powerful tool in the arsenal of any UI/UX designer or product manager. It helps you create decisions based on data, not just intuition, which leads to a better product design and happier users. What's your experience with A/B testing? Have you ever had test results that completely surprised you? Share stories in the comments below. I'm eager to hear about that. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was useful. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and see you in the next one.